Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge, where I sit with some of the theater's best and brightest, chatting it up. This time is international teen idol and actor Nick Jonas, who has recently stepped into the role of J. Pierpont Finch in the hit revival of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, playing here at the Al Hirschfeld Theater. We'll talk about returning to the stage, guest starring on Smash, Les Mis, and Everything Jonas.
How to apply for a job. How to advance from the mailroom. How to sit down at a desk. How to dictate memorandums. How to develop executive style.
This is your first time back on stage on Broadway as an adult. How's it different?
It's different in so many ways. I mean, first of all, just, sort of a leading role like this really requires so much of me, not only on stage every night, but and sort of the extracurricular activities, if you will, and that's been an interesting road to walk down, and really fun as well, just taking ownership of this role in this show. And a role like Finch, it really takes time to, I think, understand each piece of it, from the comedy to, in this production, the choreography is insane, and then also just working with different actors every night. We've had a lot of different moving parts, and it's been fun to walk down that road and kind of, just take it day by day, and I think that for me it's been a dream come true to be back on the Broadway stage, and to have it be this show specifically is an honor.
You look like you're having the time of your life up there. And like you said, you're dancing amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Was that the toughest thing, the Rob Ashford choreography? What was the biggest challenge for you with Finch?
The biggest challenge, I don't know that it was the choreography. I was lucky enough to have a few days out in LA with someone who knew the choreography before I came out here. So they showed me a bit of it, and so I could kind of have it in the back of my mind for about 2 weeks that I had off for Christmas. And then I came to New York and really felt comfortable with the choreography. For some reason, it just kind of clicked and made sense. And so, obviously putting it with the rest of the company was a bit of a challenge at first, but settled in quite nicely. And it's actually, more than anything, just been the stamina. And not necessarily physically, but just sort of all the talking. All the talking in the show. Finch has a lot of words to say, and he also talks really fast. I have to realize.
I heard that Daniel Radcliffe came back to see you in the show.
He did. He saw it on the end of my first week, and came back, said hello, had some great things to say a few days after when he was doing some press for his new film. So that was great, and he obviously did such an amazing job in this role, and so for him to come check me out, and it was really great. What
was that performance like, knowing he was here? And did anything go wrong? Any mishaps that night?
Yeah, something did go wrong, and it was really embarrassing and frustrating for me. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I beat myself up over things like this. But basically, in the big boardroom scene where I'm giving the big speech about the Finch presentation, I just got lost. And I don't know if it was because he was in the house or what was going on, but I just got lost. I don't know what happened, and I just stood there blank face. And I looked at Rose, who plays Rosemary in the show, and I was like, she got me back on track. But it was the only time it's happened in this show so far, and it's the last time it will happen. I can assure you that too. But we also had a show stop at the one he was at. Like, the sliders wouldn't come on, and it was kind of a crazy show. But he still loved it. And that's what matters.
Live theater. That's what happens.
Exactly.
You just guest starred on Smash. You were so wonderful the other night on Smash.
Oh, thanks so much.
What was it like working on that show and working with the cast?
Amazing working on that show. First of all, the role that I played was a really fun role for me, because he's so different to who I am. Very precocious and kind of a wild character, but it was fun to sort of take on for a few days, and obviously working with Angelica Houston and Deborah Messing and Catherine McPhee and Jack Davenport and Megan Hilty, all these people, just kind of mind-blowing. I was sort of pinching myself on the set, making sure it was really happening. And then the rollout of it all has been amazing, to see the fan response, and people that maybe weren't as familiar with the work that I'd done, that were introduced to me in a new light on that show, was really exciting.
I promise you, kid, that I'll give so much more than I get. I just haven't met you yet.
Thank you.
Lyle, this is Ivy. She's playing my Marilyn.
I can immediately see why they cast you as Marilyn. That dress is amazing.
Lyle, this is very precocious behavior for a 15-year-old.
I'm 12, you jerk.
So would you like to pursue more dramatic roles?
I would love to pursue some more dramatic roles. I think if the right thing comes up, and if it's a role that I feel like is another step for me as an actor, and that I can continue to grow in, I think it'd be great. And that was one of those where I was able to do some singing and some acting, and work with some really talented people. And so I'd love to find more things like that if they're out there as well.
Where did your love for performing begin? How old were you?
It's tough to put my finger on it, because I think it was just always there. I grew up in a really musical home. My dad's a pianist and a vocalist himself, and just has an incredible ear for music, and sort of understands it all so well that it was a great environment for us to be around growing up, and for me specifically, just always encouraging of my passion for performing. And my parents actually went and saw Les Mis when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and said, "There's a role for a young boy in this that we're sure you could do one day," because they always heard me singing around the house and knew that I wanted to perform in some way. And so I immediately sort of, at age 6, decided that I would go and listen to the Les Mis soundtrack, fell in love with it, and I think that's when the whole thing started.
Because Les Mis has played a big part in your professional career.
It has. It's really been kind of a sort of milestone in a lot of places. But I was in the final cast of Les Mis here on Broadway back in 2003, before they did the revival a few years later. But in the final cast as Gavroche, and then went and did the O2 performance in London, as well as a kind of 2-month run in the West End. And even now I always think, God, I found myself in the shower singing the one-man show version of Les Mis all the time, as I'm sure a lot of theater lovers do. Really excited for the film now, too.
Yeah.
We've got some friends who are in it, and so it'll be fun to see that whole thing roll out.
You would live 100 years if I could show you how. I won't desert you now. The rain can't hurt me now.
Samantha Barks was your Eponine.
She was,
in London.
yeah.
She's doing the film now.
She is. I was so excited to see that news. So happy for her. And I've got some other friends who I've been messaging with who are part of the ensemble in the movie, and have standout moments. But they've been keeping up to date as to all of it. So I've kind of got the inside scoop, and I'm really excited to see it.
And doing that 25th anniversary concert that was put out on DVD, how exciting was that, playing Marius and working with all those great people who had done Les Mis before?
It was incredible. I mean, I was really humbled in that room, because there were so many talented people, and so many people that had played the role that I was playing in it, and who had such incredible voices and talent acting-wise as well. And so I was honored to be playing Marius in that, and I think I'd love to come back for the 50th anniversary and play Valjean one day.
Well, I think you said that one-man Les Mis show. I think it'd be great. Do it for a benefit for like Broadway Cares or something,
I
right?
would love to. I've actually talked about that before, because it's one of those shows. I think I saw a YouTube video of someone doing